What's up? What's up? All right, welcome back. This is update number 9, I think. Um, this is. I spent the last week basically trying to figure out systems and put systems in place to clean my data sources so that I can send out emails. I'll do a quick update in this video about the key email campaign, how it's been going. I've been getting some calls, which is good, getting some responses. But this whole week, I have been just busy, tied down, number one. But number two, I've been trying to figure out how to get this streamlined so that I can kind of scale this up a little bit faster, right? So I'll go through kind of where we're at, what the problem the problem that I've been trying to solve, the solution that I came up with, and then the more problems that I'm running into right now, and then kind of what I'm gonna think about trying moving forward. All right, so let's go right into it. All right, so let's start off with the actual campaign. Let me just show you what the campaign's looking like. All right, let me zoom in here. All right, so this was the campaign launched end of last month in February 26th. You can see as of right now, there's been 799 emails sent. You can see the stats, the breakdown here. You can see that there's a total of 545 leads, and then 374 are in progress. There's obviously follow-ups behind that, and then there's 135 that haven't been reached out to yet. But of the 799 sent, there's about a 72% open rate, and then there's almost a 9.5% reply rate with three positive replies, which just gives us a 10% positive reply rate. So it's not too bad. Of the 3 positive replies, 1 got into an actual call, and presented the pitch, and I haven't heard back, but this is good. This is a good start. I'm actually getting on calls. People are actually replying. Again, this number, it doesn't really matter. This is the only number that really matters at the end of the day. The open rate doesn't really matter either, to be honest. All that really matters is the positive reply rate. The 28 replies, half of them are like, stop emailing me. Don't unsubscribe and whatever, right? But of the emails sent, what I want to show you here is you could see a clear breakdown of where people dropped off, or in this case, of the 3 variations of the first emails that I'm sending, this one did the best. It has a 75% open rate as of right now. This campaign is still active, but I would imagine that moving forward, it's still going to be this kind of distribution. And this is the clear winner to me by far. The difference between email C, between A and B, is that email C leads off with some personalization. In this case, it's very general personalization. It's like, let me just show you. It's like, hey, I came across your website, like this, the actual company name's website, and I thought I would reach out. So it's essentially leading with this personalization, which I think is the reason why it has a higher open rate, because that first line, if you look in any inbox, you'll see that first line as like a preview to what the email is about. And it's just going to show I came across, company name's website. And I think that's why it has a higher open rate. So in this next campaign that we're looking to launch right here, I'm testing out different variations of that opening line. They're all going to have personalizations. One is going to be the baseline, this email C template, and the other 2 are going to be 2 different variations of a personalization line. And I'll show you what I mean real quick in a second. But yeah, that's how the email marketing is going. And I think because of this kind of good, satisfactory result, I kind of want to scale this up faster. And I started out with, if you remember, 6 email accounts. I am now warming up 30. All right, so that'll allow me to send 1,000 emails a day, and it'll allow me to get through lists quicker. So the idea here is I just want to get through these lists quicker, because mathematically, if I send 800 emails and I got 3 positive replies, and of the 3, 1 went into a call, and how many calls do I need to actually land a client? I just need to scale this number up massively. All right, so that's the overall goal here, is to get data, leads, and then clean the leads, add personalization, and then send them out in these email campaigns. You can see here, I got this initial list from Apollo.io, but as I had mentioned to you, I feel like Apollo is not really the best source to get local business leads. They're great for LinkedIn type leads. These are like, bigger companies, SaaS, Fortune 500 enterprise level companies. But for local service businesses, a lot of times they're not on LinkedIn. They're not updating their profiles on, Crunchbase or whatever. Usually it's the company email at a Gmail account, at a gmail.com email address that's tied to their Google My Business profile. So that my data source wasn't good. All right. So the first time around, this Apollo.io, all right, I got 500 leads out of it, whatever this number was. But I need 545, but I need more. I need a lot more. So the best place to do it would be Google My Business. But the problem with Google My Business is it's very manual. And there are scrapers that I've found that I can go in and scrape each result for each query in a city. But that's all super manual. So I found videos for D7 Lead Finder. Shout out to Sky. I think that's his name. But I've binged, sub 1,000 subscriber YouTube channels are the GOAT. It's like they have so much information, value-packed information in there. And all those videos, like the real good ones, are like 40 minutes, 45 minutes plus. But that's YouTube University. You know what I mean? Like it's the best source of information. So shout out to Sky. I found some tutorials using D7 Lead Finder. And D7 Lead Finder is essentially just, it's a lead provider. It's like a lead source provider. You can watch the video. I got sold on it because they have this feature called the bulk search feature. If you go to their plans, the bulk search feature is in the professional plan. You can get 100 daily searches, up to 30,000 leads. And the bulk search feature, what it can do is if I type in roofing, for instance, if I type in roofing, this is just the preview. Let me log in here. If I type in roofing here, I can get roofers apparently from, if I type in New York State, for instance, right? New York State. I'm messing up right now. Sorry. Roofing. And I go to like New York. It'll do the top 100 cities in New York and pull all the roofers in the top 100 cities, which is great and a great solution to the problem I was having. Again, I don't want to go city by city, town by town on Google Maps and scrape everything. Having a consolidation of the top 100 cities per state was amazing. And this counts as 100 credits. So I could essentially do one state per day. And then I thought, all right, great. There's 31 days. I can get through 31 of the major states. Each state will have a pull down of the top 100 cities, right? So look, so for instance, Ohio, this is what I've done, and it'll give me city by city all the acupuncturists in Ohio, which was like amazing to me. Great. So I started out with New York, as you can see. Then I went through different states, and as I was formatting New York, I had to get processes in place so that I can kind of standardize this process. The problem with D7 Lead Finder is this, all right? Like, let me show you this Excel sheet. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in. So, let me just show me. So this is the top 100 cities in Ohio of acupuncturists. And then you go down and it gives you 1,570. But as you can see here, some of these email addresses are not populated. So of the ones that are populated, there's 993 that are populated in this list of 1,570. Okay, so already we're down whatever 70, 80%, whatever that percentage is. Then I have to actually verify these emails. So I'm gonna throw that into Million Verifier, and if you throw it into Million Verifier, of that 993, only 672 are good emails. All right. So of the 600, now I got a good base. Right now, some people might think, okay, good, 672 verified emails. I can throw that into Smart Lead, and bam, I'm gonna send out 672. That's much better than the 95 that I had from Apollo. That's what I thought too. But you start taking a look at the actual list, and you start seeing, again, things that are not related to acupuncture. Look at this. This is addiction rehabilitation, just on the bottom right here, right? A general contractor's in here, right? Construction company, although it doesn't have an email address. But then we have herbal shops, veterinarians, retail reflexology, mental health clinic. So this list is dirty. It's the dirtiest list you can get. Like half of these, I would say 80% of these results are shit. Okay. So I then had to think of a way to clean this list. All right. And again, shout out to Sky for, his detailed YouTube videos, but I'm using this thing called Clay, and Clay is amazing. It's actually a really, really powerful tool. Again, it's for outbound campaigns that you can personalize with AI. And there's a lot of enrichment features here as well, where you can enrich your data. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff using OpenAI API and Clay credits, which they have built into this. All right. So the pricing is like this. You can see there's free trial. They get you. I think on the trial they had either 100 or 1,000 credits that I could use. When I was setting it up, I didn't know how to. Anyway, I was playing with it. There's a learning curve. I blew through those 1,000 credits so fast. So then, what I was thinking was, all right, if I'm going through 1,570 per state, I'm gonna need a lot of credits, right? So I was thinking, okay, I need 10,000 credits a month. But as I was learning this tool, I figured that I don't need this plan. I could just go with the base plan, the $149 a month for 2,000 credits. And I'll show you the kind of the power of Clay here in a second. All right. But yeah, I mean, this video is going to be a kind of a longer video because I'm just going to lay it all out and just explain, just for my own sanity, that I'm not wasting time here, and I'm not going crazy. All right. So this is the Ohio. Okay. I've imported the 663. Well, it was more. It was 672. But as I was cleaning it, I realized again there was some that weren't good. What I'll do here is I'll probably blur out the email addresses or something. All right. So here's the list. Here's the list. 663. Let me get rid of this filter. And of the 663, what I needed to do first of all was make sure, again, because my categories are messy, right? I have everything in here. I have a pet, I got day spas, I got a general practitioner, I got healthcare, vitamins, supplements. I made a list of approved categories that I would filter on. Okay, these are my approved categories that I think vaguely fit into what I was looking for. So I made a column that would, it's just a VLOOKUP if you are use Excel. It's just a VLOOKUP that would cross-check between the two lists of the approved categories and the list that I'm feeding it. Of the 663 rows, If they're approved category, if they're a category that's approved in the list, return a record found. If not, no record found. And then I've just changed that into a checkbox list here. All right, so that's my initial check. Essentially, I want to make sure that the people that I'm looking at are first off approved. They're approved in my approved categories. Then I have a master suppression list. So I don't want to send emails to the same people twice. All right. Number one, it comes off as spam. Number two, they've already said no, or I've already emailed them. So I don't want to spam them again. So I'm keeping a master list of all the people that I've emailed already. So I'm going to cross-check against that. So this is just a cross-check against people that I have not sent out or emails to already. And I just want to make sure that I'm sending them out to those people for the first time. And then I'm going to do an initial run check. So here is where I will filter it down, and then I'll tell Clay to scrape this website. And that's really a cool feature about Clay is I can scrape this website, and then I can get all sorts of information from this website, like the website title and the website body text. In each scrape, you could see the information that's going to return in a JSON format. So yeah, it scrapes all the links on there, right? So this is like the different navigation links or social media links. It'll also scrape phone numbers if it finds it, the keywords, again, the social links down here, and it'll scrape all this information. But what I really want to know is who to address this to. So I'm scraping from this body text. I'm scraping using AI. I'm giving it this kind of job here, this data researcher task, and I'm giving this job to find the business name, business owner, business email, city, phone number, and whether the website is even related to acupuncture. Because again, there's double negatives in here, or double positives, or whatever it's called. Even if that category is an acupuncturist or acupuncture clinic category, it sometimes the website is not about acupuncture. It's about something completely else. It's completely different. So you can see I'm doing double checks here. Like I'm getting this list, I'm paying for this list, but I'm having to double check it. Number one, if it's not an approved category, I have to go in and then I have to just make sure that it is actually not an acupuncture website. Then even if it is an acupuncture website, I'm having AI just do a double check, making sure that it is an acupuncture website or is related to acupuncture. But that's pretty cool that AI can do all this, right? So like based on the website body, based on the web body text, it's determining all this. So it's returning all this stuff here, like the business name, business owner, business email, city, phone number, acupuncture related website error, or English. Again, some of these websites are returning errors, and some of these websites are not in English. So I'm just doing these checks with AI based on the body text, and then I'm breaking out all these columns, and then I'm just doing manual checks. All right. So from here, the first manual check I said I was doing again is if they're not approved, but their business name contains acupuncture, because I needed some sort of configuration to actually test this. I can't go in and test every single website in here, from 663 websites. So this is the rule I said. Okay, if the business name contains acupuncture, but they're not in this category, I'm just assuming that they've incorrectly categorized themselves as something else. But if their website name has acupuncture, I'm sure they're providing acupuncture. So I go through this list, and then I just make sure that I'm either including some or making sure that they're not included based on the findings. So like for instance, this says Madeira acupuncture, but if I go into this website, it's not really acupuncture related. It's something else. So I'm just making sure that that's the case. But again, if you take a look, the name here is Madeira Acupuncture, but the title of this is not anything. It's related. It's Dr. Jessica Gruber. So D7 Lead Finder sucks. I think that's going to be the title of this video. Don't use D7 Lead Finder. All right. So then I'm going through, and then I'm from this default view, from this scrape, it's finding what the email address is based on the body text of the website. I'm just doing a double check to make sure that the email matches the email that D7 Lead Finder is providing. And then if that's the case, I'm just making sure to pick the email address that actually makes sense, because sometimes D7 Lead Finder will return like at gmail.com, but on the website they have at their business name, and that's usually the better email to use. So then, I do that, and then I go through again an approved list. So after all that, I have like a really good approved list, but I need to then find first names, right? And this is something that I've kind of implemented myself into this whole workflow, is then I can use AI to go in and do a task to find the first name based on the website. All right. And usually it's pretty good. And then I've set it here. I've set the condition here. Just look, visit this website and then navigate to their about page. This can be also labeled as meet the team, our staff, or some variation of those words. Find a business owner's first name. Remember to check the title tag of the page as well, because sometimes if the name of the website is the actual person's name, and it doesn't mention anything about the owner or something like that, because it's inferred that they are the owner because it's their business. OpenAI can't discern that. They can't put two and two together. So I have to just make sure, tell them to check the title tag as well. Be sure that this person is the founder or owner of this business. If you're unsure but can't find instances of a title, again, sometimes they like to refer to themselves as doctors only, and they don't find the first name. So I just gave him some examples. I'll put that instead. And it's really good about this. It's pretty good about this. Sometimes it'll just take some random first name that's not the owner, especially if there's co-owners or co-founders. It doesn't do a good job about that. But from the 663 rows, it filters it down to 10 things that I need to check. And then from those 10 things, I can just really, just compare with what they found to the actual website. And then most of the time it's correct. So I can just go through and do that. And then after all this is done, I finally get something of an export that I can go through. And then the personalization part that I wanted to talk about is, I just thought, hey, if the personalization is working based on this, I might as well test some other personalization that might even get a higher open rate, right? So I then created through OpenAI, and based on that body text that I'm scraping, I'm generating a sentence highlighting something interesting about their business, all right? And the things that it's coming up with is I was on your site and found it interesting that you specialize in cosmetic acupuncture. Or I'm generating a compliment too, just to see which one works better, right? And this is, I was on your site and I was impressed by your comprehensive approach to hormonal health. Great. These are the personalizations that I'm testing that are one step above I came across your business's website, right? Which I think is pretty cool to test. Again, I had to tweak this so much because it was coming up with some real trash personalizations, all right? And I had to test it again. Also, by the way, if you're big into using OpenAI's API and stuff like that, GPT-4 Turbo is so much worse than actual GPT-4. GPT-4 is much more expensive, but tasks like this, where I have to think, where the AI has to think of actual useful information, GPT-4 is the way to go. All right. I also had before settling on this, I had GPT-4 think of, two actual tips that they can improve, that they can implement on their website to improve it. And but the tips that it was coming up with was not that good. It wasn't that useful. And sometimes it wasn't things that they could implement. So for example, for acupuncturists, they were coming up with, use before and after pictures of whatever, or, implement some sort of symptom checker on your website, interactive symptom checker that they can implement. So those two things aren't really, applicable or practical. And I didn't want to use those 2 tips in the email and then they say, yeah, that's great. And then I circle back around and I'm like, oh, sorry, by the way, that was AI. That wasn't me. That's, I'm just joking. So let me show you. Of these 663 rows, after cleaning all this data like this, again, this is how I'm cleaning it, I come up with 139 results. All right, so this is apparently for all of Ohio. All of Ohio is generating me 139 leads, and this took way too long. All right, this took way too long. So yeah, and then I the reason I was making this SOP, I created a whole document, recordings and everything, is because I was trying to hand this off to a VA. But the problem is, all of this effort for 139 contacts just doesn't make sense, right? Like I should have way more than this. So the overall conclusion here that I came to was doing this across multiple sets of data. Again, I did it through like multiple states. D7 Lead Finder sucks. It just does not give you good data. I don't know where they're getting this data from, but it's obviously archived data that is not accurate to what you're searching for. Its classifications are outdated. Its email addresses are outdated. Everything about it is just dated. It's just bad old data. So do not use D7 Lead Finder. That's the conclusion that I've made here. But yeah, so I'm not going to let all this work go to waste. Plus, I've learned so much about how to use Clay that I would recommend using Clay for sure. If you're doing something like what I'm doing, use Clay because it's super powerful. And as long as you have good data, I think a good starting set of data, the shit that you can do with Clay is going to be really, really powerful. And I'm hoping to show you that in the next video because I'm moving on from D7 Lead Finder. I've gave it a good shot. I mean, I bought the thing like a week, like earlier this week, but going through 4, 5, 6 states already and coming up with 100 per state after having to do all this work it's just ridiculous. Like I'd rather just pay more to get a clean set of data to start with. So again, this is the whole problem here. Like the emails is automated. You just upload the list, you upload your sequence, and this is all automated. But this is the where is it? This is the real problem here. So I'm now reverting to a different solution. I've found this. This was the other service that I found in my research that seemed to be the leading competitor or the kind of the best way to do this. So again, to recap, the problem that we're running into with D7 is the contact information, number one, is outdated. The categories it's spitting out for specific search are not related. And from just cleaning this data, it's not picking up all the results from a specific location. So like if I'm running Georgia, for instance, I know acupuncturists that we've worked with in Georgia that are like big name acupuncturists. When I look for their specific contact information, it's not returning it. Same thing in New York City. I'm looking for specific people in New York City. It's not returning it. So here's the modified approach that I'm going to be taking. The logic here is this, all right? I don't exactly need the top 100 cities per state because as I was doing some research again, I'm running into acupuncturists in smaller towns that are the sole acupuncture, the sole service provider there. They don't need a particularly strong website because they don't have competition. So the idea here is I should be targeting really like the top 3 or 4 cities where there is competition, where there is a need for marketing, where probably 80% of the acupuncturists are going to be at anyway. I didn't want to go through this because I didn't want to do the manual search, but logically this is starting to make sense to me. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up like the top X cities in all of the United States. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to do a search, so the good thing about Outscraper, well, I don't want to say the good thing because I haven't used it extensively yet. But from what I understand is Outscraper is going to do this scrape for me real time. So that's today, that's up-to-date current information. And I can select the categories that are going to be in Google My Business and Google Maps already. So then I know I don't have to like do this whole cleaning process of cross-checking it with an approved categories list, because I know for a fact I'm paying for just that category that I'm searching for. So if it's just doctors, I'm only paying for doctors because it's going out and scraping doctors, which is the Google My Business category in a specific area that I'm trying to run. All right. This is much more expensive, however. So if I were to do, let's say, all of Georgia, for instance, if I was doing all of Georgia, am I spelling that wrong? Maybe do GA. Yeah, here we go. So if I were to do all of Georgia, and let's do like, acupuncture clinic, right? An acupuncturist. If I were to do all of Georgia again, and they have an enrichment feature here where it will extract emails and socials as well for you. I think I'd rather pay for this because it's good to just have a baseline so that I can compare with. Because like the alternative here would be to just do this without this, and then have OpenAI or Clay go in and enrich it for me. But I'll probably do that anyway for the ones that don't have emails or anything like that. But having Outscraper do that for me, I think, is a good baseline to compare it to, so that I can just compare it. So look, if I get this data, it's going to draw up a rough estimate for me, which is $56, $57 to $204, and this is for all of Georgia, which is actually really not that bad if you think about it. But that's what I'm paying for. I'd rather pay to start off with a stronger set of data that I can just go and confidently reach out to, rather than having to do all this damn work for shitty data that I have to clean up anyway, and it's going to take me 10 times longer. So I know this was a longer video, but I just wanted to provide an update on how the cold email marketing is going. I've been learning a ton. I've been experimenting a ton, as you can probably tell. But like learning anything, it's never linear like this, right? Everybody knows that. It's never linear. Like if it was, that'd be great, but usually it's like this. It's like this, and then you have to like go like this for a long time. And then you go and then you do this thing. Sometimes you go back, but eventually you go up, right? Because this whole going back and forth, like experimenting and then finding results and then tweaking and then re-experimenting, that's this. It's never like, I do this, and this, and it all works out at the end. So I understand that. I mean, that's how everything works that I've done, but it's just crazy how much time I've spent because I thought this was a faster way to do it, when in fact it wasn't. It was really a bad source of data, and hopefully through Outscraper now, even though I might be paying a little bit more, hopefully it's a better base start to enrich that data with, and hopefully then I can scale up here. So the idea here, again, the email accounts are going to be done warming up towards the end of the month. I think this is on the 23rd. I have a couple that are done being completed on the 16th. So once these are all done, I'll be able to send approximately 1,000 emails a day, and that will hopefully go through a lot of these contacts quickly. I have other verticals that I want to hit, and I have other, not exactly local service businesses, but partnership type requests that I also want to send. So yeah, it's all about scale. It's all about trying to get this done quickly and trying to get the first couple of websites in. I don't know if you remember, but just a quick update. I finally got that video made. If you take a look on the website here, I've just updated it today. So that video should be a great explainer about our kind of value proposition. So yeah, go check it out if you have a second. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this was informative to some people. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and I'd love to answer it. Thank you.